Okay, we're gonna be unboxing Shelter Drake. I got this in the mail just today. I like the design and the oval. Here are the parts if anybody wants to look at that. It's not a very popular one here, but it's it's one that I got for pretty cheap, honestly. I got it online at Walmart, and it generally is a pretty good, like, at least it looks like a pretty good starting kind of thing here. I'm not an expert. This is my first video, really, but, I've been a collector for a while, and, yeah, this is my second Bay from the collection, actually, but this was the first one, Courage Dran. This is the Hasbro version, but it's beautiful, really nice. I can go ahead and get the um, show you the parts for it at the end, but it's a really beautiful bay. Reminded me of whenever I first opened my first one up. It was the Scythe Chronos and Blitz Links package. I don't know where they are now. I lost them a long time ago, unfortunately. But this is the launcher. This is different because they have the 3 prongs on them. If you can see that, there's 3 prongs on it. It would go here, and then one there. And it's interesting because the other ones don't. I actually have a pretty good example. I was actually hoping to put it on the handle on this one, but I wasn't able to because it doesn't have the little notches here. And grab that. But this is kind of the launcher that I got from a friend a while back. It's just a basic kind of, track thing here. You can do right and then switch it to the other one hold on. Switch it to the other. Well, you would put it in the other one and it'd be left like that. And then they have the symbols on there. But this one only has 2 of them, and they would go on the older plastic bays. I haven't really been a part of the new stuff that much, but I really like this one in particular because it has the colors on them and stuff, but they're really nice. It took me a minute to put the actual ratchet on because I didn't know how to do it the first time, so sorry if this video is long because of that. Got my knife here, Go ahead and open this up. So it looks like the top piece is going to be called Shelter Drake, and that's the main part of this whole thing. That's going to be the lock chip and the metal blade on it. This one's a full kind of metal blade on it, as you can see here. This one, unfortunately, doesn't really. It just has these 3, and then it has these plastic pieces. But there's metal under that plastic, kind of like a ring. And then I think they put that plastic on there. So that's probably how that was made. But that one doesn't have all the metal exposed. All right. Let's see if we can go ahead and open this up. I highly recommend doing some research before this. I did as well, but I don't really want to go with the meta because I haven't, been around for a while, and that's mostly why. But oh wow, this is kind of difficult. But okay, we got it open. There we are. Opens from the bottom, I see. But it would come with a rip cord here. Hold on, let's move that. This is just a basic stadium. I got this from the Quad Drive series. It's really just a basic stadium. You don't have to, but look for something that's basic. Or I know that they're kind of expensive now, but you can, if you want to, you can get the Impact Drake and Gale Wyvern stadium. It looks kind of fun because it has like a drop down here, kind of like a hill but it still has um, the rails on the sides for these pieces here. There's like these little gears on there. So here's the first bag. This would be the tip and the ratchet. Go ahead and move that out the way. Put that here. It would come with the instructions how to put it together. That's what that is. The other part of the launcher here. And then in here, if I can get it out, hold on, is this actually came out upside down on the packaging, but since it's facing you guys, it's fine. But they have this little tab here that you can just pull off like that. If you need to, you can use a knife or something to, peel it off. But it seems like it's really easy. So what I like to do is just make like a hole on it, like so, and then just tear it. If you want to be careful with it, I would recommend making like a whole circle maybe, or like a cut of some kind. Okay, here's that top. Honestly, I thought it would have a lot more metal. These are for sure a lot smaller in stature than the ones that I've held in the past, like the older ones. I can show you a couple. There's one really chunky one that was a little bit later on in the plastic gen, but this is Shelter Drake, the top part. There's the code there if you guys want it, and that's where it would be whenever you get it. Those of you that play the online game, I used to do that whenever I was more into it. But there's these little gears here that helps, like these little like sockets, not sockets, but like a socket there. That's what that piece is for. I don't know if it's is able to come out. It seems like it's not. You can move it and rotate it though. So that's interesting. I thought you would be able to take this out. This one here is able to take it out, but this one, since it's metal here, I think it's just from the BX line, so that's why. But you can't take that out because of the metal prongs here. But I really like this design. I really like the design of the emblem there. If they made a different version where this could come out, or like a much more heavier version, honestly I thought that this would like protrude outwards and down, but it doesn't, and I thought this would be a lot more wider. But that's okay. I guess they're just trying to balance the whole game out and stuff. This is a kind of like an oval shape. I can kind of see what the reviews were saying. I mean, it's very, very lightweight, but it does have that shape that would be, essential to an attack type kind of shape. At least not a conventional one, but as, the people that are more competitive, what I've heard them say. So let's go ahead and get to putting this together. Don't mind me. Okay. Ratchet is, hold on, let me see in the box. It is $7.80. It looks a little bit bulkier than this one here. I gotta get the box later, tell you guys. But yeah, this is $7.80. A lot of people use $6.60, I've heard. The part here, it is, I've seen this piece around a lot, but it has all the like gear stuff all the way down instead of like this one. This one just has it on the top part. Then it has, I've seen this around. I'll actually show you a plastic one that has a tip similar to this, but I've seen this go around. I've seen a rubber version of this, and that usually works really well. I don't know if they'll do that, but there is rubber pieces if you guys are looking for that. And let's see how we put this together, shall we? 3 parts. But The reason why I think people really like this part is because it's mostly flat, but it has like this little ball protruding in the center. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it has that, and then it has the gears. But there's just a little ball there that helps for stamina, and then the other stuff is like the flat part being attack. Right. Oh, the battle zones are interesting. Yeah, it has a diagram of the stadiums there. You guys can screenshot that or whatever if you guys want to. But that's like the layout of the stadium. I don't know if you guys can zoom in and have a better picture of it. I'll go ahead and put it up against the camera for you guys. Sorry if my hands are a little shaky. It's a little cold. But we put the ratchet in these grooves here. Oh, make sure that it's the plastic part. What I've noticed about these ratchets, it's that they're left and right. So you have to make sure that they're on the right or the left, depending if, that's their game, their gimmick and whatnot. Put this on. The tip in. Oh, I think I did that wrong. Come on. Yeah, okay, so it's just on the back here, how to put it together. Go and show you guys. Can't quite see it in my direction. But yeah, make sure that it's right. Put it on there. Make sure that it clicks, I guess, somehow. No? Oh, yeah, I forgot. For these to stick correctly, on there, you have to turn the ratchet. If they're right, you have to turn it left. That way it locks, and then vice versa. So if it's left, you'd put it in on the grooves, and then you turn it to the right. I got messed up with that before, and then that should be it. Feels a little wobbly though. I haven't given these a spin or anything. Wow, this middle piece really likes to move. Huh, interesting. If I can move this, that'd be awesome. Oh, this one actually does say Beyblade X, but as you can see with this one doesn't have it on there. This one has it. You can barely see it, but it's right there. This thing keeps on moving, but it's right there on the edge. You can barely see it. This one has it. This one doesn't, which is really weird. I've heard that the knockoffs have that, so be careful. I did Google image search this, and it seems like it is not a knockoff, but that's probably just because it's CX and not, like a basic line. CX is custom line. And the X is just, Beyblade X. So, yeah. I'm just going to spin these individually. By the way, beautiful packaging. I really like how simple it is. But here would be the launcher, Beyblade X, This is the launcher here. The thing has like gear grooves on it. But you'd put it in like that. These are the starter packs. Again, 3 prongs. These are just, the starters. I don't have that much money or, that much time to go and get them. That's why I got this one online. I got the other one in person, though. Alright. We'll go ahead and do Shelter Drake since that's what all this is about. And put it on there. So you just line it up like that. I like to click it a couple times, that way it doesn't fall, because if you put it in incorrectly, it'll kind of like slant, and it'll launch incorrectly, and it'll just like, be wobbly around the stadium. So let's go ahead and give this a try. That was kind of a weak launch, but you can kind of see like the flat part coming in there. Obviously, this is not the intended stadium, so, you know. I mainly wanted this because of the defensive capabilities. That way I can show, the attack type kind of power behind it. I really like how the colors come in, though. Yeah. All right. By the way, if you're new to this, a good way to just a good rule of thumb before they run out. Wow, that ball part is actually really nice. But what you would do is you would take your hand. I like putting it in between the middle finger and the ring finger, but you can also do the pointer finger and the middle finger there. Just as long as it's not on any metal parts or anything, but you'd go under it, and I'm going to use my pointer and my middle finger to just go under and pick it up from the tip, like that, and then you can just safely pick it up like that. Some older ones have some metal here, so that's why I say be careful with that right here. Yeah, that ball part is really nice. All right, I'll go ahead and launch the Courage Dran. A lot of people don't like the name that I've seen, but I really like the design. I don't really like the characters whenever they pop out of there. I really don't like the design that they did for this one. But the bay itself is really good looking, and that's what really matters. That's what's doing all. Well, not all the work, but that's the main thing. Anyways, 3, 2, 1, let it rip. Again, even with attack types, they're kind of, around the place, but just go under and then swoop up. And that's how you do that. I really like the color coding on this one, though. I might switch them up and, on another battle, I might, switch the parts up, see if they do any better. I like how chunky this one is. This one looks like it has more weight to it. So we'll go ahead and launch this one first and then launch this one second, because attack types aren't really known for their stamina. So, we'll go ahead and do that. Each of them have their own individual launcher. I'll just have, Shelter Drake over here, and then Courage Dran over here. Again, these are both Hasbro versions, so, keep that in mind. Ooh, another good rule of thumb, whenever you're doing this by yourself and you don't have the special launchers where they have 2 of them and you can, just go ahead and just load both of them up. So I already did the first one there. If you guys saw that, give it a couple clicks, leave it to the side, make sure that the string doesn't come out either. That tends to happen a couple times, but hopefully, ooh, this one fell off. Hopefully we'll get a good run. Ooh, spin out finish. Usually, the attack types, they would usually burst the stamina types pretty easily, because either their ratchets or, their stuff aren't very good. I actually kind of like how it looks like sideways a little bit, but it's kind of stuck like that for now. So I apologize if you guys don't think that's aesthetically pleasing. But, we'll go ahead and have another run. I'll try and do some better launches on that. All right, blue versus red, the classic kind of, thing. All right, 3, 2, 1, let it rip. Okay, second one. 3, 2, 1, let it rip. That ball bit is really helping out. It's kind of wobbly now, but yeah, that's the review for it. I don't know if it's just I've been doing weak launches or something, but we'll go ahead and do one last one just to show and then maybe the next video I'll switch them out and switch the parts up just to see if there's any difference. I think this bit here, this balance bit, it's supposed to be a balance type, by the way. But the balance bit on here would be, I think it'd be very good for this bay here, the curved strand, mostly because this is very flat and this is very new, so it doesn't really have like, if they're newer, they're usually going to have kind of like it's going to be worn out, obviously, but it's going to have kind of like a U shape to it. But usually these would have, well, a piece like this, a bit like this, it would be kind of like, rounded off here and rounded off here. But yeah, there's that. And then I'm guessing this one would just be, the same thing, rounded off there, around the edge here. But we'll go ahead and give it one last top off. And that'll be it for today. 3, 2, 1, let it rip. 3, 2, 1, let it rip. No, some wobble there. I like the kind of action here, though. If I had the actual stadium, this thing would go so much faster. Ooh. You can see that flat bit coming in, too. I really like that bit, though. It's really nice. It already has kind of like a little bit of dust from the stadium building up on that ball there. That usually helps for grip and stuff. At least that's what I think. But usually if they get worn out on these kinds of stadium, these Hasbro stadiums, there's a little bit of dust on there. I try to clean it off every once in a while. But, there's some kind of thing about that where they get a little bit more grip on it. But if I had the actual stadium here, you could have the, little thing here where it would just go and it'd build up speed because the gears would be there and then just, knock them out and stuff. But unfortunately, I don't have that. I hope you guys enjoyed that review and those couple battles. And thank you for, watching me and watching the video. Oh yeah, I meant to show you guys the bit thing here. Right. Let me get my collection. Oh man. This bay right here, older. But this was my second first bay, because that Scythe Chronos was my very first one and that was my favorite. I played on like concrete and stuff, so the bit would get worn out like how I told you. And I don't know what happened to it. It's gone somewhere whenever we were moving, to this house. I've been living here for a couple years, but this is, I guess, my second first bay. This is from the Burst generation, plastic gen-ish. I say ish because it was like the start of it. But yeah, this is the Minotaur. I forgot its name, but it's a Minotaur kind of seasoned bay. You can kind of see the worn out here. There was one time where that actually worked, but I feel like if they did more of like this chain design on it, it would have been a whole lot better. But this was supposed to be a basic attack type, starter, whatever. This tip here is kind of what I'm talking to you about. This is just 3 parts, very simple. You just put that on there. It has the little grooves here. This would push down and it just lock on to that plastic piece like so. But I'm going to go ahead and take it apart to show you. It's that tip for any of the people who are experts and know all the names and stuff. I haven't been keeping up. But you can kind of see.
What are you doing?
Hello?
Comer.
Oh, no, I will in a minute. Okay, bye-bye.
You're checking.
Okay. But yeah, there's just it was flat. You could kind of see the wear out there. I'm going to take this apart if I can. Hold on. Oh man, I'll figure that out later. I haven't really been messing with these. I've been really busy. But you can see the flat bit here, kind of how they're a little similar. These little grooves here weren't used for anything. They're just, aesthetic, whatever. But yeah, you can kind of see how both of them, if they're flat, would, spin like so. But since it has these little grooves here, I think that would just be for, I guess, a little bit of grip, because it's like a little plastic ring, like a raised ring there. But yeah, this would get more flat and stuff like that. I really think that a bit like that balance bit on the other one would work out a lot better because it has that little ball part there. But supposedly that's also one of the more aggressive ones. But what I'm kind of looking for here is for a attack type that has good stamina. Very rare to find. Very rare to find. If they exist, is the thing. I still have yet to see one, and you know, I've watched the series and stuff like that. I haven't been keeping up, but at least whenever I was watching it, I haven't seen it. I used to do this with my cousin all the time. I'm a little sick, so I'm sorry if it sounds stuffy or whatever. But that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and I hope God is with you. See you around.